Huh?
I have this for you,
What's it? Oh, thank you.
but I'm $1 short.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. I'm sorry to get you.
Okay.
Thank you very, very, very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I have nerve damage. I was poisoned by an antibiotic by Pfizer a decade ago. It's affected everything. I don't really have meth mouth. This is what happens when all the nerves in your perfect teeth die in a single day and then start cracking and rotting out of your skull because you don't have $50,000 or $60,000 to replace them with implants. Let alone money to get them all extracted at once, which they desperately need. Thanks. I'm going to go out and have a cigarette. Come find me.
I barely like driving my car up those.
Yeah.
hills.
All right, man.
Take care.
You too.
All right, hang on. Do me a favor. Can you point this at me and just kind of talk to me about what I'm doing and what's going on and everything?
Like that?
Yeah, you don't smoke pot. I keep forgetting.
No, I don't. So now I gotta think of something to say here.
No, you want to...
Oh, take a picture of me, record you.
No, don't record me. Don't push any buttons. Just point it at my face. Right. Thank you.
Yes, I got you.
Okay. I've got to get this Chuck Lorre proposal in the pipe, like, really soon. Hi. Good.
You sure you ain't recording it? Because it's got the counters counting on it. The little counters count on it.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
Okay.
I don't... Oh, here it is. Okay. I burned my widow hand. Have a drag.
All right. So here we are on Friday evening
Uh-huh.
with Marcus.
Yeah.
We're he's enjoying himself. Okay. Do you have any comment for Market?
I need to talk to my people in union representation before I say anything official on camera on the internet.
Okay, well said.
Sorry, SAG-AFTRA Strong, Writers Guild of America.
Well said, yes.
And solidarity with, I call them the League of Starting Artists, the Artist Guild or the Graphic Designers Guild?
Graphic
I
design.
gotta check with the Franklin Mint people if there are any who still admit that they work there. I see you were looking at my shirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's got no head on it with a question mark. The world.
You know the Hacktivist Collective Anonymous, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, this is the symbol for Anonymous International.
All right.
I didn't come up with the design. I just had the idea for the Guy Fawkes masks.
Okay.
It was an anti-Scientology thing. And it's actually a really neat story.
Sounds pretty interesting, yes.
So, the reason that I came up with the idea for the Guy Fawkes masks, I was a huge Alan Moore fan. You've ever seen V for Vendetta or Watchmen?
V Vendetta, yes.
Okay.
And
so,
Watchmen.
Okay. Well, he wrote both. He also wrote League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which was a much better graphic novel than it was a movie. Although I really enjoyed Jekyll and Hyde's arc in that movie. I really enjoyed how Hyde could control his impulses and his lusts. He could control his id when he needed to and do what was right for all. That's probably why Jekyll and Hyde are my favorite character. And there was, I don't know, remember Dorian Gray was in the movie, but anyway. So, you ever see From Hell?
No.
So it's about Jack the Ripper and the Freemasons and the British royal family and a maternity scandal. In other words, a member of royalty got a prostitute pregnant, and someone was killing prostitutes as a cover for the one he actually wanted to kill.
Okay, so that also reminds me of the story about the smiley face killer.
Hang on, I'm still talking, and yeah, let me talk. So, Johnny Depp stars in it as an opium addicted or an opiate addicted detective who has a heart of gold, and his assistant, his partner, whatever, from Scotland Yard is Robbie Coltrane, the actor who played Hagrid in the Harry Potter movies. And I'm just going to give you a little story about how detailed and layered and complicated Alan Moore's work actually is. So at one point, there's Jack the Ripper, who's actually a doctor, pretending to be an uneducated and unskilled butcher of women as a cover, was walking past a window that seemed to be more brightly lit than most. And he looks in the window. You ever see that? You watch Monty Python?
A couple times.
You ever see the episode where somebody looks in a window into a basement flat?
Yeah.
And basically the entire apartment is filled with water and the people are sitting in chairs and the woman swims up and flips the guy off because she's been complaining about the damp for months and now the apartment is completely flooded past the ceiling and they have to have scuba gear just to watch television. So this was kind of like that. Jack the Ripper, whatever his name was, looks in the window and he sees a modern late 20th century flat with a television and a couple snuggling on the couch. And he's like, what sorcery is this? Or something like that. And he goes off bewildered, unsure of what he saw. There's an urban legend that at this particular building around this particular block, for years, people that have been, or decades, people that have been living at this apartment have looked up to their window and seen people wearing Victorian era attire, walking by, looking in the window, looking puzzled and moving on. Basically, they're saying that people from the 19th century are walking by this window to this day and looking in the window. And Jack the Ripper did that and literally saw through time to the late 20th, early 21st century. Not now. And so Alan Moore told a unique tale. It was emotionally devastating. And the one thing they never tell you about Codename V is that he's fucking schizophrenic. But one of those rare and exotic forms of schizophrenia, where the person has mesmerizing and hypnotic charisma. Right? Sound like V? And he thinks in 12 dimensions, basically. You hear of fourth dimensional chess? Well, how many people did V actually kill? It was about 3 or 4 that we know of. He blew up a building, then he blew up another building at the start of a popular revolution full of people wearing masks, which was, that part was not in the graphic novel. I insisted it be added to the movie. And I said, and it was a post-apocalyptic story. It was supposed to have been after a nuclear war. And England was devastated, but London and the major cities survived, and they were trying to rebuild, but they embraced fascism. And there was a queen, and the queen was a puppet, and she was like 12 years old at her coronation. And I said to Bob Minton, this needs to be a sleek, sexy movie like The Matrix. And that's what they did. That's what they gave me. The Wachowskis gave me exactly what I needed as the precursor and foundation for Anonymous. Maybe later I'll tell you about what we decided about mass producing the masks and what I told them would have to happen. Oh, and do you like anime at all? You ever hear of Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex? It's the TV series with the blue spider tanks. Yeah, you haven't seen it? Well, has a special place in my heart. One of the things that I asked Bob in approaching the Thags Templar for OG initial recruitment for the Inner Circle, I said, Matt and Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the creators of South Park. Is that my phone ringing? Okay. The Lana and Lily Wachowski, the Wachowski sisters and the Wachowski brothers, the creators of The Matrix and everything. And I had one outlier, but he was crucial because we needed anime people. And I said, you need to give these notes, you need to tell this story to Masamune Shirow, because he is a technological transhumanist. I mean, people have like parts of their brains are augmented with cybernetics. So you can have a phone call in your head with someone, and it's technological telepathy. They hear it in their heads, and you hear it in your heads, and you can be standing next to each other on a street corner, and unless someone is bugging your ears, no one knows that the two of you are talking, making a drug deal, and that electronic funds are being transferred all over the world without you having to pick up a phone. There are no phones. It's all in your head. And that's the kind of stuff that Shiro does. And Bob showed him the plan, and I pretty much know what happened, even without being told, because they created a social engineer genius, like an idiot savant, super autistic guy called the Laughing Man. That's his hacker tag, and it's a reference to J.D. Salinger, and there's also a reference to. You ever read Catcher in the Rye? Holden Caulfield from Catcher in the Rye. The one accusing everybody of being phonies and stuff like that. And so it's all about J.D. Salinger and Catcher in the Rye. The Laughing Man was very clearly based on me.
We raced all over 2 different places.
He was a super hacker that could literally speak a few words on camera, and like 80 people suddenly decided, oh, well, the guy he's talking about, I need to assassinate him at that press conference. I know, I'm going to go and I'm going to tell everyone that I did it and I was the real Laughing Man. And 79 people fucking did it in an afternoon. a 90-year-old man shows up with a gun behind his back and a huge smile on his face in front of the police. Where's the press conference? So that's what the Laughing Man does. He kind of... You ever watch Doctor Who? You ever see The Christmas Invasion? It's the first Christmas special with Rose when David Tennant takes over. Do you remember Harriet Jones, Fly Down North? She was a member of the British government who, suddenly, after a crisis, becomes prime minister, and she's supposed to lead England to Britain's new golden age. And he starts a whisper campaign against her when she destroys an alien ship as it's retreating. And he whispers into one of her aides' ear, "Doesn't she look tired?" And suddenly she's getting votes of no confidence and they're trying to throw her out of office because she's not fit for the job, and no one will say why. They're just like, isn't it obvious? And that's apparently something that the Doctor can do. But all of that's related. It's really funny. But do you remember Captain Jack Harkness?
No.
You don't remember? Are you my mummy? You remember that one?
Probably.
The kid with the gas mask.
I think so, yeah.
You do remember that one? Captain Jack Harkness was the time agent in the military trench coat who was very gay, and he became the star of a show called Torchwood, which I highly recommend. And it's a much more adult show, lots more gunplay than in Doctor Who. And Captain Jack Harkness reaches a point where he can no longer die. I named my character. I didn't name my character. I designed my character after Captain Jack Harkness. Captain Jack Harkness can't ever die. He gets killed, and he immediately comes back. And that's what Haru does in my role play. He just touches death and comes right back. And there's a lot more about that. But press the red square and let's stop recording.